the suspended MPs will continue their protests at the Mahatma Gandhi statue in Parliament, and that's going to take place till about 5 o'clock. Remember, that was that 50-hour protest. They're protesting against price hike and various other issues, as well as 27 MPs who have been suspended, and that is why they have been protesting since Wednesday. Congress MPs are likely to meet with the Lok Sabha Speaker to express their displeasure with the BJP MPs and Council of Ministers who were present during the confrontation with Sonia Gandhi. Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury sought time with the President, that's Droupadi Murmu, in order to apologise for his Rashtrapatni comment. So we have my colleague Sunil Prabhu joining us. Sunil, that relay protest by the opposition MPs in the Parliament that's going on since Wednesday, and that's expected to end at about 5 o'clock. When is the opposition going to be talking and discussing that price rise debate? When is that expected next week?
Well, those dates are, as has been pointed out, early Monday and Tuesday. It's slated for discussion. Finally, because I think that is something which has been the standoff, and that's the only way you can take it forward. The fact that you suspended the highest number of MPs from the Rajya Sabha, it's a record of sorts, is clearly an indication that all is not well between the opposition as well as the government in terms of how they want to take forward. Yesterday we saw those unfortunate scenes where members of parliament, in particular from the ruling party, disrupting their own business. So it's a new trend. It's a trend that is going to continue in the days to come. And as you pointed out, Mahua Maitra herself making it a point to remind the Speaker, who's now known as the suspension Speaker, of what exactly is his role. What will he do today? Will he condemn the behavior that has taken place, the switching of mics, which he got all parties to do last time round? What will be his role? That's the critical question. That's the because as Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury has pointed out, as a leader of the Congress party and the largest opposition party, he is not being permitted to speak on the floor of the House. If that is the trend, what exactly is Parliament meant for? These are questions which the presiding officer of this country has to answer. He's, after all, above, because of the legislature and the Parliament being supreme, there is no questions that can be asked on the Speaker, but this is a question that members of Parliament are now questioning him publicly on social media, and for which there will have to be certain answers, even if you try to brush it away.
Right, that dharna, that sit-in protest that's been going on from Wednesday. How are the MPs doing? Of course, their demand is to revoke that suspension of the 27 MPs. The run-up, that protest that actually ends at 5 p.m. today.
So it's against much odds, the fact that they continue for that 50-hour relay. It's been difficult. If you've seen those visuals of a member of parliament putting a mosquito net, because this is monsoon season in Delhi, and parliament is no exception from mosquitoes, and they've been bitten. And it's a tough job. Please remember those nearly 24 members of parliament to protest through the night at Parliament, which is, cordoned off. They don't permit you to even report about those incidents that are taking place. And it's in that backdrop that this continues. So definitely hats off to them, and today it will end, which will clearly set the precedent. But what happens to the other 4 members of Parliament who have been suspended for the entire session in the Lok Sabha? That's going to be the next bone of contention, and we'll have to wait and see how things resolve. But definitely, as you saw yesterday, the attempt was to shift the headlines. The attempt was to change the narrative to ensure that it doesn't focus on price rise and suspension of MPs and get into a new issue, right, which, as Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury himself said, was a slip of a tongue. He apologized and is saying, I will go to the President and apologize to her.
Right, and that's expected as well. Of course, like you did point out, the mosquito issue, as far as they've been braving out the heat as well as the rain, Sunil, as far as those MPs who are sitting in protest, let's just hope that it doesn't rain today as far as the areas in New Delhi is concerned. Here is Derek O'Brien also putting out a tweet saying it's 1 in the morning, and a picture from the Dharna site is what he put out, saying non-stop day-night 50-hour dharna still going on, 12 hours to go. Revoke the suspension of 27 MPs who were suspended for seeking a discussion on price rise.